Hi, in this video we're going through the auto shop business in GTA 5 Online, why you need one, how much it costs, and how to make carloads of money. Hi and welcome back, my name's Dan and I'm an old grumpy gamer. Grand Theft Auto is a truly massive game. Between GTA 5 and the constant updates from Rockstar for GTA Online, there's no shortage of new content and interesting things to do. Join me then as we look at every business in GTA 5 Online as we go through the tuner updates auto shop business. Before we dive in, if you're new to the channel, we do how-to guides, news and giveaways, so consider subscribing and ringing the bell to stay up to date. The tuners update was a really welcomed change for GTA Online, with griefer-free zones, stancing, low grip tyres, awesome JDM tuner cars, and some utterly hilarious racer mods. This DLC expanded on the solo games made with Cayo and was a car guy's dream. It was also the first storyline developed after Dan Houser left the company, and oh sweet merciful crap did it show. But anyway, first things first, why on earth would you want to buy an auto shop? Well, the auto shop unlocks a few interesting game mechanics, no pun intended, and a few different earning options, starting with a series of mini heists. So the auto shop introduces you to contracts, which are essentially mini heists that can be done 100% solo. A tuner side hustle with a car lift add-on and some stuff, you can make some extra coin doing up client cars. Additional cash for sourcing vehicles. Essentially this is Simeon's car theft ring on steroids, where you'll receive notifications about export opportunities that can net you some additional coin. In addition to the earning potential, there's also a few additional perks. You get free snacks, which you can find in the lounge area next to your video games, discounted vehicle modifications, which is another fantastic part of this DLC for car guys, and additional garage space, which more or less speaks for itself. You get a sweet new place to store your premium rights. Unfortunately, there's no passive side to this business though. You can do the vehicle tuning and customizations in a pretty low effort way, but there's no passive income available. The good news is though, you can do everything in this business completely solo. And if you're pretty good behind the wheel and decent in a shootout, you can earn upwards of 300 grand per hour. More on double money and triple money event weeks too. Of course, that really depends on your expertise, so don't quote me. Okay, so let's talk budget. To do anything meaningful in the auto shop business, you'll need to be a VIP, MC Club President, or a CEO. Honestly though, you don't want to do this being a VIP. There are some serious restrictions and it's a pain in the backside. So realistically, the cheapest option here is becoming an MC Club President. And to do that, you'll need to have a motorcycle club set up. The cheapest one you can grab is the Great Chaparral Clubhouse at 200 grand. It's a bit out of the way, but if you're on a budget, it's the one to go for. Once you've got a clubhouse set up, you'll need to purchase an actual auto shop. Once you've unlocked it, you can purchase these through the Maze Bank Foreclosures website on your phone. And we have 5 to choose from. Mission Row, downtown Los Santos at 1,670 grand. Strawberry in South Los Santos for 1,705,000. Rancho also in South Los Santos for 1.75 mil. Burton in Rockford Hills for 1.83 million. And finally, La Mesa in East Los Santos for 1,920 grand. Each of them has the same capacity and the same facilities. That's 10 vehicles, 2 car lifts, and up to 2 staff. So there's no difference there, nor is there any difference in income opportunities, making the only real difference travel distance and budget. Next, we have some upgrades, starting with decor. You can change the floor and walls. There's a free version, but you can spend up to 450,000 if you want to get really fancy. While you're there, you can also tweak the tint. There's a few different options available. Again, you can leave it as it comes at no additional cost, or you can spend up to 187.5 on the fancier aesthetic. And finally, you can also add an emblem. Your crew emblem is free, but you can add one of the stock ones in from 25 grand through to about 104,500. For functional upgrades, you can grab 2 staff members at 385 grand each, a second car lift at 650,000, which you'll need if you want to utilize the second staff member. And this can also improve your low effort income by doubling the capacity of your car customization business. And finally, you can also add a personal quarters from 340,000, so you can spawn in at the auto shop. This is handy if most of your other properties are on the other end of the map and can save you a bit of time. Oh, and if you haven't got one already, a membership to the LS Car Meet is a must at 50,000. Right, so that's it for actual expenses. This is really a minimum spend of 1,920,000, including your clubhouse, the cheapest auto shop, and an LS Car Meet membership. But if you can budget 5,500,000, you'll get a nicer location, personal quarters, all the upgrades, and that includes your CEO's office. Not bad considering what some of the other DLCs have stung us, especially considering the daily fees are only $250 per day. And with that in mind, assuming you don't go nuts on the mods, you'll make your money back in 8 to 12 hours, depending on your skill level. So it's still not Cayo money, but with the vehicle mod discounts, additional garage space, and the really fun income opportunities, it's still worth the cash in my humble opinion. Okay, to get rolling with this one, you will have to start by catching up with Sir Santa and Kenny at LS Car Meet. Head over to the LS icon on the map when you're ready, and that will trigger the cutscene. After that, head somewhere safe and purchase your auto shop. Once you've made your purchase, head over to the new facility and head on in. Oh, and it's worth noting your customizations aren't applied until after the setup mission, so don't be alarmed about the state of your shop. You'll get a truly weird cutscene with Kenny and Sir Santa, who clearly enjoy each other's company. Once they've finished almost literally banging on, make sure you're a VIP or a CEO and head over to the whiteboard. You'll be presented with a setup mission, retrieving Sir Santa's car. There's a button prompt in the top left of your screen. Click the button and you'll immediately be booted back to the lobby, and after a moment Sir Santa will call. Unfortunately, you have to suffer through it, and mate, the writing is pretty ordinary, but listen carefully, it is important. Once Sir Santa's finished banging on, head to the marker on the map. Once you get there, make your way to the garage down the ramp and retrieve the yellow tailgater. And that might be a little harder than it sounds, by the way. There's a few cops and a couple of SWAT guys hanging about out the front. Once you've escaped the impound lot, find a spot to hide and hold tight until the cops are off your backside. After that, head to your auto shop where you'll get another insufferable cutscene. Once that's complete, you'll now be able to wander about your newly refurbed workshop. Once ready, head back to the workshop's mezzanine and wander over to the whiteboard. You'll now see a series of short contract jobs available. These are the short mini heists with a couple of setup missions and a main objective. These are a lot of fun and you can knock one over in under a half an hour if you practiced. Now, I won't go through the setups or the actual jobs in this video, but there are links to comprehensive guides in the description below. Oh, and you'll need to complete at least one contract before you can unlock the exotic exports. Speaking of, after you've completed your first contract, you'll get another call from Sir Santa briefly explaining the exotic exports business. Once that call is completed, you can head back to the shop and take a look at the board. This will show you a list of the vehicles available for your current real-world day. And as you head about the free roam lobby, you'll see the occasional flash in your minimap and a new blue dot will appear. Head over to the dot, pop your personal vehicle away and grab the car. Take it down to the docks, not too far from where you drop off the cars for Simeon, and drive into the yellow Corona. You'll be booted from the vehicle and receive around 20 grand for your trouble. If you have the time and find all 10 cars for the real world day, not only will you receive the cash payment for each vehicle, you'll also receive an additional bonus of $100,000, making the day's revenue from this, if you're willing to put in the work, around 300 grand. The final way to make some coin with the auto shop is through customer vehicle modifications. The customizations aren't terribly profitable, but they're a bit of fun and can be reasonably low effort. If you have a single list, once per in-game day, that's 48 real-world minutes, the game will essentially roll a dice that gives you a 50% chance of at least one vehicle arriving in your shop. If you miss out on the first hour, you absolutely will get one in the next. Those wait times are halved if you've grabbed the second lift. Math aside, you'll receive a notification when the customer has dropped the vehicle at the shop. Head on over and you'll see a new vehicle sitting on the lift. Wander over to the vehicle, service it, and then you'll be presented with options to tweak it up a little. The trick here is to keep an eye on the bottom of the screen where the customer requirements are added. Now you have a couple of options here. You can follow the customer's instructions to the letter and you'll receive the standard payout for customizing the vehicle, which can vary from 20 grand to 50 grand depending on the type of car or client. If, however, you go a little bit off book and the customer likes your changes, you can receive a bonus. If they don't like your changes, though, you will not make nearly as much coin. Finally, we can look at the vehicle delivery. You have two options here. If you deliver the vehicle yourself, you'll receive the maximum payout possible. Plus, you get to hoon about in a new ride for a bit, completely free. Other players are not notified about the transport too, so shy of a genuinely random griefer, you're more or less guaranteed a good margin. You can be a little bit lazy though. If you have other things to do or just couldn't be bothered, you can ask one of your staff members to deliver the vehicle instead. You'll make less money this way because, well, your staff drive like NPCs, but the car is out of your hair and you don't have to spend the time driving all over the map. Okay, and now for some handy pro tips. First up, like most other businesses, if you've registered as some sort of manager, that's a CEO, VIP, or an MC president, the game assumes you're actively actively running a business, and that means your other properties can be open to raids and attacks. So if you're not actively working a contract, then you should resign your post as a CEO, VIP, or MC president. This will significantly reduce the chances of having stock stolen or otherwise destroyed from other businesses in the game while you're not actively working an auto shop contract. In a similar fashion to the vehicle import-export businesses, auto shop customer vehicles can be transported by cargo bob. Just bear in mind you can't drop the vehicle directly into the Corona. Instead, you have to drop the vehicle nearby, land the chopper, get into the car, and drive into the marker. There are around 100 fixed locations for exotic vehicles around the map. Most are in the greater city of Los Santos, but there are a few strewn about the northern parts of the map. A link to the full map is in the description below. So while you have the cargo bob out, I'd encourage you to go for a bit of a putt around and see if one of the other export vehicles spawn. If you do, pick it up and drop it off. If you don't have a cargo bob, you can use any other airborne vehicle to scour the map, or you can just drive around the different areas waiting for one to spawn in. And finally, AFKing is a great way to grind out some hours while you wait for those custom vehicle jobs to come in. If you've not heard the term before, AFK literally means away from keyboard, which is the practice of keeping the game open without actually participating in it. Now, the more experienced of you will know that after 13 minutes of inactivity, Rockstar will terminate your session and boot you from online. But there's a way around it. If you have an LS Car Meet membership, which you can get for 50 grand, you can head to the test track. Once you're in, simply reverse back out, and as you head back up the ramp, you'll be dropped into an action menu. When that pops up, do nothing. Just leave your PC or your console on that screen and your session won't terminate. And you can do something similar in the casino if you want to as well. Head to the ground floor entrance, hop out of your vehicle and return it to storage. Walk to the front door, you'll get this interrupt screen asking you where you want to go. Just leave it there and you won't be booted. Then, whenever it's convenient, maybe every half or 3/4 of an hour or so, pop back into the shop for a few and do up any vehicles that are waiting. And that's it. Thanks for watching. Check out the video up the top for another business guide or the one down the bottom for some more old Grumpy Gamer goodness. Stay safe, wash your hands, and we'll see you in the next video.